Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 118 of Yuddha Kanda. In the previous chapters, we saw Rama almost insulting Sita to the core, even being suspicious himself towards her chastity, towards her conduct. He tells that since you spent so many months in the house of a titan who is ill known all over the world as a womanizer, he cannot accept Sita in in spite of the inability of Sita to protect herself. And then he went on to say that she is now having the freedom to choose the rest of her life with whoever she wishes. Hearing these harsh words from the wrathful Raghava, causing her to tremble, whose fearful utterances, which till that time had never been heard by her, and were now addressed to her by her Lord in the presence of a great multitude, because there are thousands of warriors who are surrounding, who are hearing to whatever Rama is speaking to Maithili. Maithili, or Sita, the daughter of Janaka, overwhelmed with shame, pierced to the heart by that arrow like speech, shed abundant tears. Thereafter, wiping her face, she addressed her husband in gentle and faltering accents, saying, "Why do you address such words to me, O hero, as a common man addresses an ordinary woman? I swear to you, O long armed warrior, my conduct is worthy of your respect. It is that behavior of other women that has filled you with distrust. Relinquish your doubts, since I am known to you well. If my limbs came in contact with another's, it was against my will, O Lord, and not through any inclination on my part. It was brought about by fate. That which is under my control, my heart has ever remained faithful to you. My body was at the mercy of another, not being mistress of the situation. What could I do? If despite the proof of love that uh, I gave you while I lived with you, I am still a stranger to you, O proud prince, my loss is irrevocable. When in Lanka you did dispatch the great warrior Hanuman to seek me out, why did you not repudiate me then? As soon as I had received the tidings that I had been abandoned by you, I would have yielded my life in the presence of that monkey, O hero. It means when Hanuman came to see her, at that time itself, if you had sent a message through Hanuman saying that you have abandoned me, I would have given up the life then itself. Then you would have been spared useless fatigue on my account, and others' lives would not have been sacrificed, nor your innumerable friends exhausted to no purpose. But you, O lion among men, by giving way to wrath and by thus passing premature judgment on a woman, has acted like a worthless man. Remember, whenever a woman having a true feminine nature, if she is triggered to the deep extent, whatever words in her heart they come out without worrying about the consequences of those words. Because a woman with a true feminine nature will never think through her head, she always think through her heart. So, by looking at the words of Sita, one can gauge her utmost love towards her Lord, and not even for a second she would have thought about Ravana. I have received my name from Janaka, but my birth was from the earth. You have failed to appreciate fully the nobility of my conduct. O you who are well acquainted with the nature of others, you have had no reverence for the joining of our hands in my girlhood and my affectionate nature. All these things has you cast behind you. Having spoken thus to Rama, weeping the while, her voice strangled with sobs, Sita addressed the unfortunate Lakshmana, who was overwhelmed with grief, saying, Rise a pyre for me, O Saumitri. This is the only remedy for my misery. These unjust reproaches have destroyed me. I cannot go on living, publicly renounced by my husband, who is insensible to my virtue. There is only one redress for me, you to undergo the ordeal by fire. Hearing Vaidehi's words, Lakshmana, the slayer of hostile warriors, a prey to indignation, consulted Raghava with his glance, and by Rama's gesture he understood what was in his heart. Whereupon the valiant Saumitri, following his indications, prepared the pyre. None among his friends dared to appeal to Rama, who resembled death himself, destroyer of time. None dared to speak or even look upon him, because what is happening in the heart of Rama is known only to him. This is not exactly the true nature of Rama to insult a woman so like in public, because he had a great reverence for every woman in the world. How can he insult his own consort? But he is more worried about what the world will speak about Sita now onwards, because she spent 11 months in the house of a womanizer like Ravana. Every man out around there tried to speak loose with their loose tongue about Sri Vaidehi, which certainly Vaidehi, being so sensitive, will never be able to bear. Remember, Rama is always so much worried about Sita. He was so much attached to Sita. Attachment of Rama towards Sita we are watching since the time of Aranyakanda, where she was abjected by Ravana. Since Aranyakanda, all through the Kishkinda Kanda, and even in the Sundara Kanda towards the Yuddha Kanda, in all these sections, in many chapters, in many verses, Rama expressed his lamentation. And after all this thing, if Rama gratefully, with all happiness, if he accepts Sita, of course it looks like a happy ending for Sita. What happens in the world there onwards is everyone will start loose talking, not about Rama, all speak with their loose tongue about Sita, because is pure, he is living among the men, whereas Sita is dwelling in the house of a womanizer. So everybody will speak with a loose tongue about Sita, which certainly will going to be a disaster for her life. So Rama wanted to clear everything at once before accepting her, that he is not accepting Sita just out of his lust. He wants to accept Sita, who had proved to the whole world how great she is, how chastised she is, how pure she is, in spite of living in a womanizer's home for nearly 11 months. And that is the mindset of Rama. Then after Vaidehi, having circumambulated Rama, who stood with his head bowed, approached the blazing fire, and paying obeisance to the celestials and Brahmins, mightily with joined palms standing before the flame, spoke thus: As my heart has never ceased to be true to Raghava, as my heart has never ceased to be true to Raghava, to yourself, O witness of all beings, Grant me your protection as I am pure in conduct. Though Rama looks on me as sullied, do yourself, O witness of the worlds, grant me full protection, because the fire is the one which can never be adulterated. So she wanted to jump into that fire in order to prove that she was never been adulterated, or she was never been used by Ravana. With these words, Vaidehi circumambulated the fire, and with a fearless heart, because she knows herself that she is pure in her heart, she entered the flames. And a great multitude were assembled there, among which many children and aged people who witnessed mightily entering the fire, and resembling gold that has been melted in the crucible, she threw herself into the blazing flames in the presence of all. That large eyed lady entering the fire, who is the bearer of sacrificial offerings, appeared to those who watched her to resemble a golden altar. But fortunate princess entering the fire which is nourished by oblations seemed in the eyes of the rishis, devas, and gandharvas to resemble a sacrificial offering. Then all the women cried out, Alas! On seeing her, like a stream of butter hollowed by the recitation of mantras, fall into the flames, and she appeared to the three worlds, the gods, the Gandharvas, and the Danavas, like a goddess smitten by a curse, and cast down from the heaven into the hell. Then, as she entered the flames, a great and terrible cry rose from the Titans and the monkeys. Thus, come to the end, chapter 118 of Yuddha Kanda in Ramayana. Here in this chapter, we saw Sita, in order to prove her purity, she entered into the fire. Please note that this is how exactly Valmiki uh, shows proof of the chastity of Sita, in spite that she was dwelling in the house of a great womanizer like Ravana, who was dwelling in his harem more than 1,000 women collected from all over the world. And he used to merely treat every woman as an object of his desire. He could not even able to touch or come anywhere near to Sita, because she was pure in her heart. Even at a later instance, there were instances where people tried to ask women to prove their chastity in a similar fashion. But remember, those who tried to check the purity of a woman, those who tried to check chastity of a woman, that man should first be having the purity and having the chastity in his mind. Only such a person, because here Rama was so pure, Rama was so dharmic. So, because of that reason, in order to prove her chastity, she is much more purer than Rama, she is much more greater than Rama. So, in order to prove that they both are equal, Sita entered into a burning fire. And at the same time, remember, Rama was also burning within himself for the fire, for forcing his wife, forcing his consort to enter into the fire, because that was not his true nature, but it had been forced to do that, because he know what the whole world will going to speak about Sita once she is accepted by Rama. He do not want Sita to face any ill treatment post she is accepted by Rama, and that is why he is forced to allow her to enter into the fire. So the one should be pure himself like Rama if he wants to test the chastity of a woman like Sita. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime.